any other child born to human beings. So people do not note the year or the month or the day when people are already born. At least they did not do it in the past ages. They do it now, they try to do it now, but they do it with the help of some existing calendar. And they make a mistake to the degree that calendar is wrong. But anyway, I'm talking of the time of the birth of Hadhrat Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and also the time of the birth of Jesus Christ. It was not possible for any human being to consciously pinpoint the time of birth. So any calendar which began from there was not possible, was not trustworthy anyway. As far as the Hijrah calendar is concerned, all the Muslim scholars agree that it did not tally exactly with the time of Hijrah because of some difficulties which the makers of Islamic year confronted. So it was off the mark by a few months. So when we say after Hijrah, AH, it means that there is some adjustment to be made. And when we say before Hijrah, like AC, BC, that also means that some adjustment has to be made in that event occurring according to this problem of calendars. Yes, please.
From London. Do we remain conscious of our individuality after death? In other words, are we still aware of who we are?
It all depends on who you are. Some people are apparently aware, but actually are not. Some people are gaining greater awareness with the passage of life. And they're marching towards that awareness. But nobody is fully aware because there are hidden crevices within human inner being, within the recesses of human consciousness, let's say, which are not fully observed by man because of many factors. There are many areas of one's own self which man does not want to observe, to know really, because it will hurt. So he bypasses those areas. So there are many loopholes in human consciousness born out of many factors. Many people are mentally unable or educationally unable to introspect themselves. And there is a large number of human beings as such. So it is difficult to answer this question in generality, Mr. Clinton. No, I'm sorry, Clinton, I said. Ms. James Hilton, what was your full name? James Hilton, huh? Yes, Mr. Hilton. It's not possible to answer this question in generality. In fact, I have spoken on this subject repeatedly during many sermons of mine on Fridays. And I have tried to help Ahmadis to understand this phenomenon and this problem. But this is not a problem which they can avoid. They must know themselves. Without knowing yourself, you cannot know God. The more you know yourself, the better you know God. So that is the reason why it's unavoidable. But there is one way which will which will work as a guardian angel over you, which has been mentioned by the Holy Quran, that all your journeys should be guided with taqwa. Journeys within and journeys without. They should all be guided by taqwa. Taqwa means an inner fear of faltering, an inner fear of making a misstep, so that within yourself you have that guiding force. Deeply in your intentions you want to be rightly guided. And with that overwhelming thought, if you travel either way, inside you or outside, your conclusions will be much closer to truth. So this is the advice which I can render to all such people who ask me such questions. But otherwise, to talk in generalities is very difficult. Thank you.
Question from Mr. Darrell Harpen from Huddersfield.
Yes, please.
Can you explain to me how a compassionate God can demand a practice like circumcision where his creation is mutilated?
Because of compassion, he does it. Because the pain the children suffer in circumcision is much less than the pain of delivery of a child. The child goes through very great trauma during the delivery. So when he is circumcised as advised by the Quran in early days, he never remembers the pain. He is never conscious of that pain, nor does he remember the pain he suffered while he was being delivered. So Allah is compassionate. He does so because he, from out of other things, he wants human beings to have a greater health, a greater possibility of health. Because without circumcision, there is much more likelihood of people getting genetic diseases when they grow up. Now, if they are honest and true, it is not always necessary that their partner should also have been the same. So the genetic diseases are always created by the licenses which people take in this regard. So even if a person, a man, we're talking of man because circumcision only applies to men, not to women. A man has intercourse with his wife. If he has circumcision, he will have less chances of suffering from genetical diseases of the wife than otherwise. And this is a fact which the modern allopathic doctors fully support. They say this is true, that in circumcision, the opening at the mouth is much less and more difficult to be made automatically. It is made when there is an ejection. But when you are without circumcision, you leave yourself to that chance openly. So I think that is all I can say on this subject, because there are also ladies present here, you know. This is my limitation. Thank you.
Question from Mr. Abdul Rashid from Manchester. He's a businessman.
Yes.
His question is, what is the Jamaat's position in relation to taking and receiving of interest from banks, especially in relation to obtaining a mortgage for a house?
You see, Jamaat's opinion on this has been expressed by me many times before, but briefly I'll repeat. You know, we live in a system, financial system of the world, which is based on usury. And it is impossible for any individual to avoid a brush with usury or interest money altogether. It's not possible. The best he can do is to guard him against the evil influences of a system based on interest. And that is what advised Ahmadis all